The notification came in while I was already staring at my phone. Mom, I let it ring longer than necessary, long enough to pretend I still had a choice. Then I answered, silence at first, not the soft kind. The kind that hums with something hidden. Voices in the background, laughter, glasses clinking. I pulled the phone away slightly, just enough to hear it clearly. A celebration, just not mine. Yeah, I said. A pause, then her voice, flat, distracted. Oh, you called? I didn't correct her. Didn't remind her what day it was. Didn't ask why I could hear a room full of people behind her when my own apartment felt like a vacuum. I just listened. We're a little busy right now, she added. We'll talk later. Busy, I smiled, not because it was funny, because something inside me finally stopped resisting. What are you celebrating? I asked. Another pause, sharper this time. Then almost carelessly, something that actually matters. Click. The call ended. And just like that, years of noise in my head went quiet. I didn't cry. That's the part people never understand. When something finally breaks the right way, it doesn't hurt. It clarifies. I set the phone down gently, like it had done its job. Because it had. All those years, all those small moments I ignored. The forgotten school events, the delayed replies, the way my achievements were always good, but never worth a celebration. The way my cousin, no, the way he was always the center of everything. I used to tell myself it was normal. Families have favorites. Families have priorities. Families, don't accidentally forget your birthday. Not like that. Not with laughter in the background. Not with that sentence. Something that actually matters. The words didn't echo. They settled, like a final piece clicking into place. By evening I was out, not with family, with people who didn't owe me anything and still showed up. We didn't do anything extravagant. Just food, light jokes, a cheap cake someone picked up last minute. But when they sang, they looked at me, not past me, not through me, at me. I memorized that, because I knew it wasn't about them. It was about contrast, proof. Later that night, I posted a picture. Nothing dramatic, just a simple frame, me in the center, surrounded by people who chose to be there. The caption took longer, not because I didn't know what to say, because I wanted it to be precise, controlled, accurate. Grateful for the family that chose me. I read it 3 times before posting. Not emotional, not angry, just true. The reactions came fast. Likes, comments, a few messages, then silence. A different kind of silence, the kind that travels, the kind that reaches places you didn't directly touch. I turned off my notifications, sat back, and waited, because for the first time, I wasn't reacting anymore. I was setting something in motion. The knock came just past midnight. Sharp! Repeated. Impatient. I didn't move immediately. I already knew who it was. And more importantly, I knew why. I opened the door slowly. And there they were, my parents, standing side by side, faces tight, eyes burning. Not with guilt, not with regret, with anger. My mother spoke first. How dare you post something like that? I leaned against the doorframe, calm, steady, almost bored, because this wasn't the confrontation. This was just confirmation, and I had been waiting for it longer than they realized. I didn't answer her question, not because I didn't have one, but because I had something better. Silence. It stretched between us, thick enough to choke on. My father stepped forward, jaw tight, eyes scanning my face like he was looking for something familiar. Something he could still control. You embarrassed us, he said. Not you hurt us. Not we're sorry. Embarrassed. I nodded slowly, as if I was considering it, as if their words still held weight. Inside, I was already 10 steps ahead. I didn't mention you, I said quietly. That made it worse, because they knew, and I knew they knew. You knew what you were doing, my mother snapped, her voice sharper now, defensive. People are asking questions. Of course they were. That was the point. Not chaos. Not drama. Just pressure. Strategic. Measured. Enough to make cracks visible. I stepped aside slightly, opening the door wider. Do you want to come in? They hesitated. Not out of politeness, out of instinct. Something felt off to them. Good. They walked in anyway, because control makes people predictable. I didn't offer them anything. No tea, no seat, just space, and the truth, waiting quietly beneath it. You forgot my birthday, I said. Simple. Clean. Undeniable. My mother scoffed. Don't be dramatic. We said we were busy. With what? I asked. I already knew the answer. I just wanted to hear how they would say it. Or if they even could. Another pause. Another glance between them, small, but telling. We had something important, my father muttered. Important. Again. I smiled faintly. More important than your son? That word hung in the air. Son. It landed heavier than anything else I'd said. Because this was where the story shifted. I walked to the table and picked up the envelope. Plain, unremarkable. Except it wasn't. I'd been carrying it around for 3 days, not opening it right away. Not because I was afraid, because timing matters more than truth. I held it between my fingers, then looked at them, carefully, watching every micro-expression, every flicker. I actually got myself a birthday gift, I said. My voice didn't change, didn't crack, didn't rise. I wanted answers. My mother frowned. What are you talking about? I stepped closer, close enough that she couldn't avoid eye contact. Then I handed it to her. Go on, I said softly. Open it. She didn't want to. I could see it. That instinct again, that quiet internal warning. But my father took it from her hands, impatient, annoyed, still thinking this was about a post, still thinking this was about embarrassment. He tore it open, pulled out the paper. His eyes moved across the page once, then again, slower. This time, reading, understanding. The color drained from his face. What is this? He asked, but it wasn't a question. Not really. I tilted my head slightly. You tell me. My mother grabbed the paper. Her hands weren't steady anymore. She read it, and for the first time that night, she didn't have anything to say. No, she whispered. Barely audible, but enough. Enough to confirm everything. I exhaled slowly. Not relief, not satisfaction, just completion. Years of quiet imbalance, years of subtle distance, years of being less without explanation. Explained, in black and white. I took a DNA test, I said. Still calm, still detached. I figured if something never felt right, there's usually a reason. My father stepped back like the ground shifted under him. My mother looked at me like I had just become a stranger. Maybe I had. You're not, she started, then stopped. Couldn't finish it. Didn't need to. I finished it for her. I'm not his son. The silence that followed wasn't empty. It was loud, violent in its stillness. Because now, everything made sense. Their distance, their favoritism, their priorities, something that actually matters. I let the words settle again. Let them feel the weight of what they'd been hiding. Or maybe, what they'd been pretending wasn't there. You knew, I said, looking directly at her. Not asking, stating. Her eyes filled. But I wasn't interested in tears anymore. That phase of my life had expired. I didn't want to break the family, she whispered. I almost laughed. Not out loud. Just internally. A cold, quiet reaction. You didn't, I said. A small pause. Then I added, you just decided which part of it mattered. I walked past them, opened the door. No drama, no shouting, no need. I think you should go. My father didn't argue. For the first time in my life, he didn't have authority here. They stepped out slowly, like people leaving a place they no longer belonged. My mother turned once like she wanted to say something. Apologize, explain, fix it. But I didn't give her the moment. I closed the door before she could try. And just like that, it was over. Not broken, not shattered, just finished. I looked at my phone again, at the picture I posted earlier, at the people in it, the ones who showed up without obligation, without blood, without lies, grateful for the family that chose me. I read it one more time, then I locked the screen. Because now I understood something I didn't before. Blood doesn't make you belong. Truth does. And sometimes, The truth removes you exactly where you were never meant to stay.